What's up, guys? This is Adam from esportsheaven.com, and I'm here with Neo. How you doing today, man?
Pretty good. You know, a little bit exhausted, but pretty good.
Oh, yeah, good to hear, man. So I'm gonna guess you entered Marvel, right?
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
So how are you feeling? How did you feel your training went for this tournament, and how do you feel you're gonna do this weekend?
Actually, unfortunately, due to a law school externship that I had, and just having to deal with like all kinds of projects, I wasn't able to train that much. And on top of that, I had to do provide apparel for Evolution since I'm a sponsor. But I was able to play last week some matches, and I actually feel pretty good. I feel that my fundamentals are there. So let me see if I can put on a show besides just TACing people for all of you guys out there.
Okay. So you bring up a good point that you've been a lot more busier lately. Things other walks of life. Can you talk? Can you talk a little bit about what it's like to kind of balance both of those things?
It's actually pretty intense. I try to do my best for the community, and I am trying to provide like hype designs. I am trying to like make somebody come acquire something that's going to be memorable years down the road. Trying to balance that with like law school and trying to stay at the top of your game, it's really exhausting. That's why I probably have bags under my eyes right now.
So you talk about trying to give back to the community. Is this why you kind of came up with the Underground Syndicate? Is that the idea behind it, or was there some other things?
No, well, see, here's the thing. Like when I started going to Evolution, one of the things that really stood out to me was that I got a piece of I think it was. I don't know if it was a bracelet or like an emblem, something like that made me remember, all kinds of things that I experienced with my friends my first time at Evo. And, said, okay, well, I want to be creative, and I want to give people that same, opportunity to purchase something. And then, years down the road say, oh, Evolution 2014, 2015, I remember we did this and that and this and that. And on top of that, they get a pretty cool shirt. So that's the main reason why I did it. I mean, I'm not, really doing it for the money. You're not gonna make millions doing this, I just want to do something creative to serve the community, basically.
Okay, I see what you mean. Well, since you are kind of going this direction, and you've been known to be this player that's always really tried to go for the best. You've also had these crazy exhibitions in the past. Would you say like you might be kind of stepping away from that, or is this kind of like right now I'm busy, but I will get back to that in the future for sure?
I feel that it's more about trying to go into other areas, other ventures in the fighting game community. For all of you guys out there, there's so much of the fighting game community. There's commentating, there's blogging, there's executing interviews like this, there's apparel, you can become a sponsor. And I just wanted to expand my horizons on more than just going to tournaments. So that's why I've been blessed with commentating tomorrow for Marvel. For me, again, it's just doing fun, having fun, and giving something back to the community.
Right. So I feel like I kind of have to talk to you about Marvel 2 a little bit. Okay. So obviously Marvel 2, a very different scene from Marvel 3 in many different ways, but one thing that we got to talk about, obviously, is the final chapter. I talked about it with Clock earlier, so I got to talk about it with you too. So going into the match, what were you thinking? What was your mindset when you were playing, and what do you think about the whole aftermath of the entire thing?
It was actually, I want to say, the overall best experience I had in the fighting game community, in terms of a match that I had, because at the time it was perfect. It was perfect for a lot of reasons. That match had all of the right elements to make for like a memorable match for the audience. He was the hero veteran. I was the villain new kid on the block that's like compiled this series of matches and win ratio, and he's gonna try to stop me. That the crowd, it was just like amazing. The stress level that I had in that match probably took 3 or 4 years out of my life.
Right.
At the benefit of everybody else. But it was worth it. It was worth it. I have a story to tell. To my cousins, or hopefully to a girlfriend, which is the reason why I'm probably single.
Well, having been a part of that and been a part of a whole bunch of other exhibitions, They're kind of a unique thing about, I guess you could say, Marvel and then the fighting game community in general. How important do you think exhibitions and money matches are to the community and to players in general?
They are actually extremely important, because they bring another aspect to the players. You get to see more about the individual characteristics of like, oh, there's this guy and there's this other guy. Why are they money matching? Why are they doing an exhibition? Do they have a conflict? In tournaments, you typically get to see great gameplay. You get to see top of the line fundamentals or ability. what money matches and exhibitions give you is a story, a story about like a player or two players. Perhaps one wants to overcome the other one for whatever reason, and the people get behind it. The people get, it's like there's a storyline, there's intrigue, there's drama. So I feel that if done correctly, exhibitions are the way to go. If anything, now more than ever for Marvel 3.
Right. No, let's expand on that. When you say right now more than ever, is that kind of like what you're saying? Because a lot of people say that Marvel's dead, or is there a bit more to something to that?
The thing is like Marvel is not necessarily dead. It's just not growing. And in all fairness, it is slightly decreasing, in interest because, you have Street Fighter V coming, you have all these other games, you have Mortal Kombat. So it's not that it's like, just falling off a cliff and dying. It's the fact that I feel that the community has seen the same, executions of strategies. They've seen like pretty much the same 10 to maybe 12 people dominate the top 8, for the last 2-3 years, whatever. So, but when you get like, people that, again, have a conflict, they might not even need to be like the highest level. It's just entertaining to see like, oh, well, you grab somebody's mic and you're like, well, here, I want to beat you up, and let's go get an exhibition, or what have you. And then people are like, what happened here? I want to know. So that brings like different type of element, a different type of interest. And the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 exhibitions, for example, King Blue River versus Full Schedule, I wasn't going to miss that, I had to leave and like speed on the freeway to get home because I was not about to miss that. Plus, I had like a good $3.42 on the line, so I had to make sure my investment was covered.
Yeah, you know how it is. But you talk about that. But is there any other ways you think the community could perhaps like revive Marvel or anything like that?
I think like anything that you do that's creative can capture the attention of like other people. Is really good. Like for example, shout out to Persia. She's doing Marvel Minds,
right.
And that gauged a lot of interest. Like, oh, it's like an insight into the mind of a top player. Why are they doing the decisions that they're doing? That's different. That takes effort, that takes energy, and that takes creativity. I think that those kinds of things, along with like exhibitions, can make Marvel last another 5-6 years. Street Fighter V will be like the main attraction, but that Marvel is dead? No, not at all. It's Marvel, baby.
All right, yeah. So you did talk about a little about how you were seeing kind of the same strategies, sort of. Do you feel like Marvel, the meta has kind of stagnated, or do you feel like there's still so much more potential, so much more things to be discovered, things like that?
For the time being, I feel like the top 1 or 2% of the players that dominate Marvel have reached a level where they are really like separated from like the other next 10 to 15 players that follow. And until those 10 or 15 players say I've had enough of this and I want to throw these guys off their throne or what have you, it may still remain the same tournament wise. I'm seeing some progress with some of the new people that are just hungry to want to beat these guys, like Cloud, he just keeps getting second, but I have a feeling that, one of these days he's going to cash in that voucher and says, it's time for me to get first place. And, as long as you're not complacent and you're hungry, I feel that, Marvel can't die.
Okay, I hope that happens, man. I love seeing the new players come in, but, dialing the clocks back a little bit, we were talking about Marvel 2. How hard was the transition for you to Marvel 2 to Marvel 3? And why do you feel like, not that it took you a long time, but what do you feel like was preventing you from really reaching the top initially, at least?
Right. So for me, one of the things that was like very, very difficult is that I was studying for the LSAT at the time. The transition for me from Marvel 2 to Marvel 3 was not difficult at all because all I had to do was adjust to the new button configuration. I don't play Marvel 2 buttons on Marvel 3, so it was just a matter of like getting used to the new configuration. But I didn't have the time to practice or like to go to tournaments as much because the LSAT, which for those of you who don't know, it's a law school entrance exam that you need to take in order for you to try to get to law school. It takes up a lot of your time, and I honestly didn't want to half-ass both things. I didn't want to like only get 4 hours of sleep and then maybe do well in one thing but do poorly on the other, or vice versa. So I decided to dedicate all of my energy to the LSAT, and thankfully it went well, and Marvel kind of went on a hiatus for a while, kind of like this last year for me because of law school. But I just think that there is definitely enough talent left to have to extend Marvel's lifetime for a good amount of time. That's what I think.
All right, that's awesome, man. But having been a part of Marvel 2 and Marvel 3, is there anything that you miss from Marvel 2 that you wish was in Marvel 3? And is there anything that you really like about Marvel 3 that was never in Marvel 2?
The rivalries. That's the thing. The hype. The community nowadays is gearing towards being, more courteous, more friendly, which I think is a very positive thing. But if you're asking me something that I personally miss, is that there was no hidden message in Marvel 2 between like rivals, or between, if people wanted to say something to you, they were not going to be shy, to say it.
Right.
I remember that, hearing stories before I even like escalated into the scene, that there was like special cabinets and arcades reserved for people that hadn't reached that level. You could not go to the next arcade cabinet if you didn't beat all these other people. You were a scrub, and it was so. That type of realness, that type of environment, I think brought up like the best in people, and it brought up like a lot of like awesome rivalries, like very interesting characters. Maybe not like the most eloquent, and maybe not like the most well behaved, but it was fun. And essentially that's what we are playing games for, right? For fun.
Right.
So it's definitely one thing that I miss. So the rivalries,
Okay. Well, yeah. Is there anything about Marvel 3 that you like that was never in Marvel 2, or?
I think that the opportunities that Marvel 3 and all the new games are getting, for people to, have streams, and for the information of YouTube to be out there and make people better. I think those are really positive things that Marvel 2, because of its age, didn't have. We didn't have YouTube back then. We didn't have, the tools that would make people, come out from, the Midwest or whatever, So I think those are really good things for Marvel 3. But there is no substitute for Marvel 2, man. There's no. Yeah, check out Neo versus Clockwork if you wanna, if you're new to the scene or haven't, really know much about Marvel 2. Check out that match. You guys will see what we're talking about.
All right, okay. I'll put in the link in the description, But but one other thing I gotta ask you about, there was that first attempt between Justin Wong and Khaos, right? And from what I understand, you helped Justin train a lot. Talk to me a little about what it was like to go back to Marvel 2 after playing Marvel 3 for a little while.
Oh well, it was actually really, really cool, because here we have a new talent that is pretty much destroying everybody, and in a classic game, So where does he go from there? Unfortunately for me, I played him when I was on my way out of the scene, and I happened to win. But for me, in order for me to play him, I would have to put a lot of law school endeavors on hold.
Right.
He wanted to really challenge himself, so I said, okay, why don't we set up a match with Justin Wong and him? Justin Wong is, incredible at that game. It doesn't matter if he stops playing it for 10, 20, 30 years. He's Justin Wong. So, versus this new young lion that's unorthodox, that's explosive. So I said, okay, for me, when we made this high stakes, high
Octane, high.
I just leave it at high stakes.
Okay, all right.
With some Monopoly money on the line. Which adds pressure. That's the whole point of me saying that it was one of those things where you feel like as if you're like in a movie, and whether you're the one doing the money match or you're helping, your partner get ready, your training partner, it feels like you're in a boxing match. Like that whole, mentality of like, oh, there's only 14 days left. I wonder what my opponent's doing. I wonder what he's thinking. I wonder how if he's watching my videos from the past, and it makes you motivated, it makes you want to play, and it makes you want to win. That is, that to me was just, a flashback to the times that I was doing high stakes money matches, and honestly, it was just incredible to like spar with Justin, to get him to, get him ready to be ready for this match. And when it happened, it was just Justin. Yeah, absolutely. So it was a great experience for me, and if anything, that kind of like goes back to what I was saying. Matches like that, I feel, need to happen more.
Right.
We need to see, the Clouds, the Rays, the Fluxes. We need to see them. We need to see them call out somebody.
Okay.
We need to see Flux say, you know what, Cloud, it's enough. This whole like who's a better Zero May Cry, or who has better execution, or who has better. Let's do it. And because I don't like it. I don't like the fact that people sometimes say that you're better than me. I've won majors. Yeah, you got top 8 at Evo, but you suck. Oh my God, that is an instant maybe, I don't know, 50 to 100,000 views on YouTube. Like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And Cloud is not shy these days, so. And we need these guys to challenge, to challenge the top 5 people, the top 4 people. And I think it will happen. You know, hopefully it does happen.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it does too, man. So I don't really got anything else to say. I don't have any other questions. So, are there any words you want to say to your fans or shout outs you want to give? How can your fans follow you?
Oh, so you know, thank you for all your support. Thank you for Long Island Joe on the side. Thank you for the support you guys show me on social media. I try to do my best for you guys when I'm commentating alongside the awesome Yipes. And you can follow me at GoldenBoyNeo. You can visit the apparel website at YKWIS.net. You know what I'm saying? .net. And if anything, thank you for this interview. I can't thank you guys enough. If you have a scene, support your local scene, and be a part of this community. There's a lot of fun things about this community, and that's all I got.
All right, stay tuned to esportsheaven.com for more coverage of EVO 2015. Thanks, guys.